Hi there, Therese here again. As promised, this week we are doing a movie review of Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Um, wow, what a movie. Loved it from start to finish. Really can't tell you enough what a good movie this is. I mean, some of the Marvel movies, and I mean, I'm a big fan of Marvel, don't get me wrong. Some of the DC stuff is good too. But some of the Marvel stuff can get a bit samey. But this was amazing. This was a really amazing movie. It told the story, and it explained why Chadwick Boseman, like why the male, well, that not the male, but that uh, Black Panther was no longer around, and it did it in a really good way because he was already Chadwick Boseman, as you know, sadly passed away from cancer, I think, during the last movie he was making, so he didn't even get to finish that. But he was a wonderful Black Panther. I was really, really impressed with him. And so, in the very beginning of this movie, they explained why. Because if you didn't know that, then you're going, well, why isn't this? So they didn't allude to the fact that it was cancer. They just said he got very sick very quickly and he died. The end. And so then it started with the movie, and it was a really good movie because it explained the if you hadn't seen any of the previous movies with the Black Panther in it, it kind of caught you up very quickly, so you understood where it all went and where it was going. So you couldn't feel like you didn't understand why everything was like it was, and the characters were great. The story was great. Cinematography was great. The costumes were beautiful. Just absolutely cinematography. Backdrops of where this was filmed. Like that, obviously there is, special effects and blah blah blah. But wherever it was that this was actually filmed, like the live sequences, was absolutely magnificent. I was enthralled the whole time. I did find that the best part of the movie, and I know I'm going straight to hell, so it's okay. I can just admit this. Um, I found the best part of the movie was that they were uh, they were all sitting around in the United Nations, blah blah blah. The only inconsistency that I did find was that they're all sitting around in Geneva. You know where Geneva is, and the French, French and Swiss German is what they speak there. And so when they were talking, the United States was était unis, which is French for United States. Every other country was in English. That's the only thing I could kind of pick out. And I don't know whether they did that on purpose to just kind of, point the finger at the United States, but I did really like the strength in the female characters. That was a really lovely boon as well. I mean, the fact that it was. I mean, I've seen all movies with all coloured casts before, but they were always true life stories about the women behind the space shuttle, like the first launch into space, and things like that. And Rosa, what's her name, the first woman who refused to sit at the back of the bus. So all the coloured movies with purely coloured actors uh, have always been true life pieces, but to have a fictional movie that was all about this, I mean, I suppose they had to draw it from somewhere, but it was a totally fictional culture and stuff like that. And you did have, like, white characters popping in and out, but they were very small players in a very big film. And like I said, the strength of the female characters in this movie was just wonderful to see them not like most female characters are. The first sign of there being a spider on the wall, which is okay because I would do this. I hate spiders, that the first sign of anything, broken a fingernail, and they just run off screaming down the hallway. These women stood and defended, and were totally, it completely enthralled in their cause. And I found that a really lovely change from the usual dross that Hollywood can sometimes spiel out on the behalf of womanhood. Um, but yeah, it was just such a great movie, and it was long. Don't get me wrong; it was like 3 hours long, but it didn't feel like it was 3 hours long. You know how sometimes you're sitting in movies, the first Star Wars movie, but that's just between you and I. And you're sitting there for 3 hours, and you've been sitting there for 3 hours because it is 3 hours. This one, it kind of wrapped up and went forwards, and you was kind of like, oh, we're finished. Okay, it wasn't. You weren't looking at your watch in the cinema going, when is this thing done? Jesus, I've got shit to do. No, it was. You were totally enthralled the whole time. You were on the edge of your seat when the action bits were starting, and I do love the fact that it was. And I don't know whether they did this on purpose as well, but it was a coloured female leader of a country who told America to sit on your hands and behave yourself, or we will blow you out of the water and nobody will ever know you existed. I did love that bit because they were you know dick measuring as America always does in all these movies because they're going to save the world and everything is fine. And this particular actress has said, we're not going to do that. That's not going to happen. And if you think it's going to happen, then you'll find out exactly how nasty we can be. So just sit on your hands, be quiet, and wait your turn. And it was just lovely. It really was quite lovely. So I'm not sure if all these digs at white America were on purpose or if it was just the way that it happened. But I really think that even if you're not a Marvel fan, even if you're not a comic fan, if you want to just sit and watch a really nice movie with culture and a good storyline and plenty of action. So it's a good movie for a couple to go and see because the women are sitting there going, "Oh, that's so sweet, that's so cool," and the men are going, "Oh, action! Oh, yes, soul fighting and scariness. Good, good." Because usually we go to it because Dave and I went and both saw it, and usually we're sitting there going, "Oh," and I'm either sitting there or he's there sitting there going, yeah, that bit over there, that wasn't so great. Didn't enjoy that so much. But we both walked out there going, yeah, that was a really good movie. So, if you're looking for something to watch at the cinema, please go and see it. It is a really worthwhile thing to spend time and money on. All right, that's all I have to say this week. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.